Even technical difficulties was not going to let me not get on here. We ready to go. Your boy G Bush back in the building with another episode of the Barbershop. It is Saturday morning. Yes, we are ready to go Saturday morning right here in the Barbershop. We got a lot to talk about. I've been on a hiatus. First week I was going to Chicago a couple weeks ago. This week I was at OU watching the Bobcats beat the Mountaineers. Shout out to the Ohio University brass for having me back. And then we was ready to go. We are back on a Saturday morning. We streaming live all around the world. Make sure you pull up, get your coffee ready, because we got a lot to talk about. The Cleveland Browns media is back at it again. They've made a major embarrassment. They've embarrassed themselves pretty much all summer, but they back embarrassing themselves. We got the Baltimore Ravens coming up, and they talking about 30-year anniversaries and all that good stuff, and you know what's going on with that, and it's just crazy to me that the Cleveland Browns don't understand why people laugh at them. People don't understand why the Cleveland Browns are the laughing stock of what we do, and it just so happens to be that it's my team, and I cover them for a living. But some of the stuff that I heard in the media this week is wild. It is wild. By the way, people can't stop mentioning it. I was on the show today, UCSS last week, and they just can't stop. I'll be wondering to myself, if the quarterbacks we got ain't no good, if you feel like your quarterbacks that you got, like Shador Sanders ain't no good, why y'all keep talking about him? Why y'all keep talking about it? We got another group of people making outlandish statements, and it's crazy to me that if you don't, for a person that ain't no good, he get the most time I've ever seen in my life. We'll talk about it because people embarrassing themselves. And let's talk about being an apologist. Cleveland Browns lost last week, and we acted like we played well. Stop the games. We got a lot to get to. It's your boy G Bush. We're gonna do it all in this episode of the Barbershop. Get your coffee, get your bagels, get the cream cheese, because we back in the building.
Quality, service, atmosphere. You're next in the chair. Feel at home in the Barbershop. G. Bush offers a fresh cut on sports. The Barbershop isn't just grooming for guys. It's culture. It's lifestyle. It's sports. And it's now the Barbershop is giving the sports scene a sheer shave and shine. Join the makeover now. Follow Garrett Bush at GBush91 on Twitter.
Welcome on into the Barbershop. It's your boy G Bush back at it again. Welcome on if you on Facebook, hit the like button. Welcome on in if you on Twitter, hit the like button. If you welcome on YouTube, if you on UCSS, if you on the Barbershop, hit that like button. We are ready to go. We'll get you ready to go for the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. And I promise I'll try not to embarrass you. I promise I won't be the victim in this situation. But we got a lot to talk about. It was a crazy week around the stratosphere. Crazy week. We had a lot of commentary here, left, right, all the above. And a lot of it surrounded around things that are on the outside of the playing field, right? So one of the things that I talk about all the time with the Cleveland Browns and why the Cleveland Browns cannot get out of their own way. And by the way, there's a lot of new people in the building. There's always new people in the building because we got a lot of people that pulled up the show. Shout out to the aunties and the uncles wherever you at, right? We got a lot of them, and a lot of people have been hitting me up off the mic, and they say, "G Bush, why? Explain something to me. I'm new here. I'm new around the situation. I don't quite understand, or I don't quite know why it is that you guys go about doing your business this way. What's wrong? Like, I've never seen people act, talk, walk this type of way as I've been covering sports. Why is it that you guys seem like you guys are backwards, defeatist, don't want to play people, don't want to develop, you don't really want to do anything except for lose. And at first I thought, oh man, that's just, that's a little talk. You just, maybe you just a little upset right now. But then I had to start back and I had to drop back and I had to start to analyze and I had to start to look around. And I said, maybe I'm just in it too far to realize why it is that we act and we move the way we move, right? Why is it the way we go about things, and why do we cover the things that we cover? And I start to realize that it is your mentality that has you in a specific place. I'm a big believer in making your actions and your actions lead to where you want to be, right? I'm a big believer in that to be something, you first have to think it. To have success, you must actually take the steps in your mind to envision success. In the moment that you start to look around and you start to feel sorry for yourself, in the moment you just start to decide that, oh, this is just happening to me specifically. This is just what it is with me, right? I'll give you a quick example. When I grew up here in America. And when you grow up in America, one of the things that we have a tendency to do is we kind of, we glorify the struggle a little bit. People struggle around America, right? People is trying to pay bills and do things. But I found out there was a whole different level of struggle when I met my wife, because she came from a country that didn't have, where she lived, that didn't have running water or electricity. I said, dang, it made me feel kind of crazy and wild to even talk about that. Right? Is that really struggle? Yeah, I struggled in my own right, but is it really struggle? So the first thing that I learned, and the first thing that I got to get to, is realizing that you have to grade yourself a little bit more difficult. You have to want to be more. You have to want to espouse to be better. Ain't nobody going to come pick you up and save you. And in talking to Bernie Kosar on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show last week, one of the things that Bernie talked about was, he said, man, when we were playing, it was a different type of atmosphere. It was a different type of game. I'm now older, my health issues and things like that. I'm a different person than I was when I played football. But I understood the savage nature of the sports, and I embraced that. I embraced the fact that it ain't fair and nobody's gonna like you or give you anything. So with that backdrop, we come and we talk and we discuss what the Cleveland Browns face this weekend. There's a couple of things that we're gonna weave through here, right? There's a couple of things that we're gonna attack, and one of them is the way we cover things. Now, if you've been listening to me all along and you've been talking about the way we've been doing things, right? You've heard me all summer, and you know the way I approach it, right? It's always a narrative throughout it, right? I'm gonna give you the receipts. I bring you the receipts, and the reason I bring you the receipts is because I need you to see with your own eyes. The first thing that the Cleveland Browns do, and which is annoying, and I told them it's not going to happen with me this year, is the annoying part. What the Cleveland Browns do is they fix it so they take L's, and then they apologize and say that the L's don't mean anything. I said, hold on, what? So you meaning to tell me you were tanking this year? You took the L's, and now you're already setting up that the L's don't mean anything. No. We're getting somewhere. Here's this. This is my argument versus Jason Lloyd. This is my argument. I said, no. We'll talk about it, but there's difference in its levels to this thing.
Another painful, gutting loss. The ending is terrible. It was awful. Another painful, gutting loss. But if you're going to judge this team on playoffs or bust, if you're going to judge this team on did they win or lose the game, you're in for a very long season, because this is not a good football team. But if you're looking for the fact that this is year one of a 2-year cleanse of the roster, of the salary cap, of all that stuff, if you see what they did on the defensive line, that was incredible. The second half of the defensive line play was as good as you're going to see in the
Let's stop right there. Let's be clear. You can't just put that on the defense. That what you mean, Myles Garrett? See, I told you. I like what you did right there. That was smooth. You mean Myles Garrett, what he did? We know we got Myles Garrett. What else do we got? A 2-year cleanse? Now, this is the framing. This is the framing. A 2-year cleanse. Let's bring this back. Let's bring it all the way back.
The ending is terrible. It was awful. Another painful, gutting loss. But if you're going to judge this team on playoffs or bust, if you're going to judge this team on did they win or lose the game, you're in for a very long season because this is not a good football team.
So we're not supposed to judge on wins and losses. That's just, we just going to judge on what? Remember I laughed and joked and said, we be thinking that Kevin Stefanski's trophies and Andrew Berry's picks is what really counts. We'll continue on.
But if you're looking for the fact that this is year one of a 2-year cleanse of the roster, of the salary cap, of all that stuff, if you see what they did on the defensive line, that was incredible. The second half of the defensive line play was as good as you're going to see in the NFL. If you look at the fact that the operation was clean on the offensive side, there were things to build on off of this. And yes.
How was the operation clean? We had 2 interceptions and a drop pass on 4th down. That cost you. How was that clean? See, this is where I have a very difficult time. And this is why you have to have video. You have to have it, because when I hear it, it makes me in my heart of hearts think, did I miss this? Am I watching the same game? That wasn't a clean performance. Again, the running theme of, and we'll say it again in the chat, the Cleveland Browns can't win because you worry about the wrong things. You'll hear this again.
I know all about you don't care about moral victories. It's Cleveland. I get it.
Cleveland Browns, I would get that it would be cool if this was a, hey, we're going to cleanse this of 2 years, but we've been cleansing this from everybody that's been in the organization. And I'm really tired of cleansing. Man, I did my facial treatment last night. I don't want to cleanse. Like, in the reality,
you gotta get used to it this year.
Now, listen, well, if I'm going to get used to it, I don't want the people that's getting used to it coaching and being a general manager here.
Ooh, interesting.
Nah, it shouldn't be interesting.
Either one?
Either one or both of them.
So they both should go.
But here's what I'm saying. We've been here doing the same thing, and we're going to sit here and do the moral victory thing again. We had 3 wins last year. This game was a winnable football game. Very winnable, right? Mm-hmm. The Bengals played like dog crap. The Bengals played around the whole doggone game. They didn't have no offensive kick. The defense was so-so. It was nothing to write home about the Cincinnati Bengals. We talked about them having a high-powered offense, and the defense came out, and Myles Garrett dominated up front.
Again, the Cleveland Browns cannot win because you worry about the wrong stuff. You see, when you got to show people, right? When you give yourself excuses as to why this doesn't work and that we can't win these football games and why we can't do this, it's a 2-part program. They tell you you're not good. Remember, you're not good. But when you try to advocate that you find somebody that's going to elevate you, like a Lamar Jackson, somebody's going to elevate you, that you need a quarterback. You know what they tell you? Yeah, I know we're not good, but none of these young guys is going to play. You'll hear it coming up later. What you mean? I got people telling me, oh, no, it doesn't need, listen, you already started. You already started with I was in Chicago, and one of the national reporters, I told her that's an old story. You should have ran that. Diana Rossini says things have to get weird for this year before Shador even sees the field. Things have to be weird. I said, man, listen, that was a nice try. You should have ran that little story in August. You might have got them clicks in August. You could have got. But why would you use a buzzword like weird like things have to be the apocalypse or Armageddon, and like this squad is just, it's gonna have to be crazy, G. Bush, for him. Stop. Right? You lose games because you worry about the wrong things. Now let me tell you about this, because I got the receipts. We'll continue to do it. Let's talk about this. Throw this up here, G. Bush. Let me take down this so you can see it. We talked about this on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, right? We got people. No, I did this out of order. Take this out. We have people, and remember Exhibit A right here. We got people that are upset at the Baltimore Ravens because the Baltimore Ravens celebrated their 30th anniversary and the Cleveland Browns so happened to be playing. Now, I get people may be a little emotional about the Cleveland Browns moving 30 years ago, but the level of emotionalness should be due and directed to the organization, not the Baltimore Ravens. Wouldn't it be wild? Wouldn't it be wild? Think about how crazy this is. Think about I go to my high school reunion. I pull up at my high school reunion, right? I'm at my high school reunion. And while I'm there, people is telling me, hey, man, your high school girlfriend, she's celebrating 30 years being married with her husband. Am I going to get mad? Nah, because I don't care like that. I'm straight. I'm cool. I wish you the best of luck. You know why? Because when you go in and you become successful in your own right, when you happy in your own right, when you go out and do things in your own right, you don't worry about your ex. You don't worry about none of these people in the past because you putting building blocks together and you are who you are today and you're excited about it. But we didn't all see them people that can't get over exes, can't get over nothing because they're miserable. They broke up with their ex, they lost their job. They've been bouncing around from job to job ever since. You break up with your ex, you put 30 pounds on, 40 pounds on. Can't get the weight off now. You broke up with your ex, you stopped taking showers. Now, don't you do that. You could be depressed for a week and not shower, but you too grown to be doing that. You got to visit some water. You got to visit some water. But you still talking about your ex. And this is where the thumbnail comes from, right? We so impassionate. We used all our passion on Shedeur Sanders takes. We use all of our passion on why so-and-so can't play and why this person ain't never going to see the field and why this, that, and the third. And you actually forgot you have to play football games this year. That's why I always tell people, I was like, look, Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel are going to play. To most people, that's when the season starts. Because you can actually get to something that's meaningful. Right? You can get to something that you might be able to hang your hat on and say, okay, we might find a person or we may evaluate. We're going to figure, but because we know if Joe Flacco played the best that he's ever played in his complete life, he is not going to be the quarterback next year. And I thought Joe played well last week. I thought he played well. But you saw what the deficiencies are, right? You got to go to Baltimore. I didn't pick them to win this week. You're looking at 0-2. At what point is you like, we don't know. We're going to have to see. But let me show you what people are worried about, though. Let me show you what they worried about. They ain't worried about this. I'll come back and explain it. They worry about this. This is courtesy of 92.3 The Fan.
That they're doing this against the Browns. I understand that they probably wanted to do it in their season opener, and I get that. But, I mean, did you really have to pick the Cleveland game to do this? You want to talk about just like poking the bear on something. And the problem I have with the whole thing is that I care, people my age care, anyone that rooted for the Browns more than 30 years ago cares.
Let me tell you something. First of all, what do you mean poking the bear? You not no bear. The Cleveland Browns not no bear. They be walking around like kittens. What you talking about? You ain't won no games. You're not the big bad Browns. Let me just keep it real with you, bro. This is the level of energy as to why we can't, people don't respect our gangster. You're sitting here being apologists. Why would they do this to us? Why would they poke fun at what we had to? We'll continue. But you think people in Baltimore care about this?
I just think it's a real move on the Ravens to do this against the Browns. I just think tacky is like the word I'm trying to use. I can't be alone in the way I feel about the fact that what a bunch of clowns the Ravens are. Yes, good organization. Yes, we love Ozzie, but for what he did in Cleveland. But I mean, did they really have to pick this game to celebrate their 30th season? That's a giant middle finger to all of you. I'm sorry, Jeff. It bothers me. That's just classless. You couldn't have picked any other game. No, let's do the game against Cleveland.
Somebody tell me, what you know what my mom used to always tell me about bullies? She told me, I don't condone you going out there doing nothing to nobody. I don't condone you going on picking on nobody. I don't condone you trying to make nobody no victim. But if somebody want to play with you and you tell them and you tell your teacher and they keep on playing and nobody do nothing, here's what I want you to do. I want you to try to put them into next week. And as a matter of fact, if I find out that you're getting bullied, put it in maybe I'm just the only one that grew up like this. Maybe I'm the only one that grew up like this. That conversation. How many of y'all seen Snowfall? When Franklin got beat up in jail, old boy came to see him. He said, listen, look at your face. Look at your face. When you go back there, I want you to find the first dude that look at you crazy, and you better give him the business. Maybe I grew up like that. But my mom or my brother, he said, listen, if I find out that you was letting people put hands on you, bullying you without doing nothing, I'm going to get you when you get home, and then I'm going to march you right back up to school and watch you get busy. You better be more scared of me than you scared of them. We don't play that. We ain't going to be no victims. We don't play the victim game around here. How many? Let me know if you know. Maybe you just don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's just the way I grew up. We wasn't going, it wasn't that. So when you're the Cleveland Browns and you sitting up here talking about that's a classless move, you know how you get even? You go up there and you punch them in the mouth. If you was beating the Baltimore Ravens, if you was successful, if you knew how to draft people, if you knew that you was going out here and you needed to get something done, if you could draft a quarterback, if you draft the quarterback and played the right people, if you got a kicker, if you did all those things, maybe people would respect you. But they don't, because we got segments like this. I don't care nothing about. I don't want the Baltimore Ravens respect. How the Baltimore Ravens clowns when we went 3-14? The Cleveland Browns. Say it again. I said this is a sweeping thing. The Cleveland Browns are bad because they worry about what? The wrong things. That's Exhibit B. Not just worried about the game against Baltimore. They worry about all kind of other crazy stuff. Now, mind you, we'll put the stats back up. Kicking is one of the most important parts of the game. Since Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry took over in 2020, courtesy of Mikey McNuggets, shout out to him in the stats, the Browns have had the worst kicking situation in the NFL. Browns rank in that span, making extra points, 32nd out of 32 teams. Field goals made under 40 yards, 32nd last in the football league out of 32. Field goals from 40 to 49 yards, 31st, which is second to last in the league. And the only reason the field goes over 50 was 10th is because Dustin Hopkins in his first year made 5 or 6 kicks like that. And then we found out he was garbage. So instead of worrying about, think about that. The league average on extra points is 85%. That means that's supposed to be a gimme. That means that's supposed to be a easy money. That's supposed to be a chip shot. You are at 78%. League average is 85. Under 40 yards, right? Under 40 yards, which is a high school gimme. 95% is what the league average is. You are 7% behind. Look at the 40 to 49. 79% is the league average, and 69% is what you are. Say it again, boys and girls. The Cleveland Browns are bad because they worry about the wrong stuff. If you had that level of energy for the kicking game, if you had that level of energy for all things equal, if you had that level of energy, this is a clown move, why would they be thumbing it in your nose? You would be asking an organization, how is it that the easiest position to find in all the football league is a kicker? You can find one a dime a dozen. You can't identify that position. It wouldn't be so bad, but we'll get to quarterback. You can't even identify the quarterback. But if you can't identify the kicking position, what makes you think you're going to find a quarterback or a receiver or any of this stuff? We'll continue on. I'm just showing you the receipts of people not understanding what type of time we're on. Let's keep it going. We're not only talking about, hey, we're doing this and that and the third. This is the attitude that we deal with. It's courtesy of ESPN Cleveland. Now, remember, we won 3 games last year. 3. People is excited to win 2. Boy, oh boy.
I say we're going to go 2-15. And the 2 wins are at Pittsburgh and Baltimore Sunday. Would you take it?
In a second, I would take that.
Yes!
Tony,
Yes!
because you're getting,
Yes!
in my opinion, you're getting Lenore's Sellers or
Yes!
whoever you. But to spoil that weekend, this weekend in Baltimore, and then to beat Pittsburgh for the first time in 21 years, that would do it for me.
This is our commentary. So you mean I'm rarely at a loss for words. The man said he would be excited. He said he would like to lose every game if they lost every single game except for 2. He'd take it because he beat Pittsburgh for the first time in 21 years at Pittsburgh. Stick it to the Ravens. This is why you're a laughing stock. This is why people laugh at you, they clown you, they look at you and say, oh my goodness. Hey, all y'all Shador people, I'm just showing you what it is, why it happens. When y'all text me or email me, I'm just giving you, I'm showing you why we think the way we do. Why would you even consider that to be even some sort of possibility? If the Cleveland Browns win 2 football games next year, 2 football games, and they won 3 this year, you see the running theme? I always find it weird. I find it strange. I wouldn't say weird. I find it very strange that a lot of our local media are just really calm and collected about taking these L's and how everything is going to be okay. And, it's just part of the program. And I find it strange that the guys that be in Berea seem to be marching by the Berea drum. Not me. It's not happening. Go ahead and go 2 or something if you want to. I'm not going to make you feel good about the 2 wins. But this is what we're talking about. Now that's Exhibit C. What we've learned so far here, is that we are a victim because of the Ravens' success. 2 wins is good enough as long as you don't get beat by the Steelers or the Ravens you got 2 wins, and it's great. So let's find out and continue to find out exactly what else we figure out on this situation. Let's talk about, man, this is the wildest one too. So you got to have the requisite Shedeur Sanders story. And I was waiting, and like a lot of people, I'm just waiting for him to play. I'm just waiting for him. I'm waiting for Dylan Gabriel to play. You know, y'all told me to wait it out. You told me, G. Bush, be patient. You told everybody, y'all need to pump your brakes. What we talking about here? Just let it play out. Let him sit back. Let him chill out. Let him do his thing. You guys are too overzealous. Okay. But y'all still doing little joints like this? Don't tell me to chill out and you doing things like this. This is another reason why. No, another reason why. We talk about that. We talk about hats. This is what we take away when we start adding. This is what we do.
It's the ones the whole time in training camp. There has to be a reason for this. And the only thing I can come up with is that he's not putting the work in off the field. I asked Aaron. I said to Aaron today, I go, man, I said, I'm a little bummed, a little bored. There's no Shedeur buzz going on. He's a third-string quarterback. And Aaron goes, oh, there's Shedeur buzz. And I'm like, what? He didn't do anything. He didn't get in the game.
The Browns fan base, as always on this issue, is divided. There are half the people who thought that him going over to Schmitty Kicker and telling him it'll be okay.
Oh, my.
Because on TV, the one shot of Andre Schmidt on the sideline after the missed field goal.
Oh, and you think Shedeur just happened to know what?
No. I'm not. I'm not telling you what I think. I will tell you what I think.
You think he pre-planned that to get his face on camera?
That's what some Browns fans think, and others think that he was being a great teammate, and that shows you why.
This is why we get clowned. What are you talking about? The kicker missed 2 field goals that cost you the game, but you are trying to spin this to be a Shedeur Sanders story? I need you to figure out where this is going.
Ultimately, he'll be the leader and franchise quarterback of the Browns.
I want everyone to consider the source here. I'm not in the building. I don't know what the deal is. I'm a fan. I'm just looking at this from the outside looking in, and there's got to be something to it. There got to be.
There was one.
Consoling a teammate? That's not good, right?
I give Shedeur a little bit of advice. He looked.
No. I don't want you giving Shedeur advice.
Riz on the sideline.
Yeah, listen to this, Chris. Now, this pissed me off. Now, this did.
With the backwards hat and the sunglasses and the look of it, I would just remind Shedeur, lock in on the game. Watch the game.
What?
Who said he wasn't?
From the game.
Flacco have a hat on backwards? Doesn't Jalen Hurts do that all the time? He's not. You're knocking a kid for wearing his hat backwards?
I didn't say that.
Man,
I said, Riz, hold on.
Chris,
I said watching
you know what?
him.
Let him go somewhere else. Let him go play for somebody. Let him go win a Super Bowl for somebody else. Honestly.
Well, if you're going to speculate about him not working super hard.
No, I'm not speculating. I'm saying something's going on.
There was
perceived?
a difference between him and Gabriel, the way they were watching the game on the sideline.
It's not me. This is how he is perceived in that building.
Courtesy of ESPN Cleveland. What I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to have to bring you the receipts like I always do. Now, you can say, I didn't bring this up. This was actual conversation people was having. Hmm? It's an actual conversation people were literally having, that he went up to a teammate and said, hey, man, it'll be better. Get him next time. And the thing you take away from that is he had a backwards hat on. Here's why I tell people the conversation around Shedeur Sanders is completely disingenuous. People be knowing what they be doing. And they be acting dumb and playing dumb like they don't understand what be happening. Oh my gosh, I don't know why do people think that we're giving him a bad listen? Because here, Exhibit D, as in dog. Does anybody have a problem with these guys in backwards hats? So, and before you get to it, do you have to say, oh, these guys won Super Bowl, so they can wear their hat backwards? Aaron Rodgers, backwards hat. Joe Burrow, backwards hat. Big Ben, backwards hat. The GOAT, Tom Brady, backwards hat. Matt Stafford's backwards hat. Everybody in the world wears their hat backwards as quarterback. You could watch people on the sideline, clipboard dudes, backwards hats. But you pick that to say, what? Come on, man. These are the invisible little smokescreen comments, and then people throw rocks, hide their hands, and go run away. I didn't mean anything by that. Sure you didn't. But what does a backwards hat have to do with locking in? That's the problem when you got people. This is the problem when you give people the opportunity to write what they want for so long. Because you can write little innuendos. Oh, he should be locked in. Just lock in more. So you meaning to tell me a hat to the front means you more locked in? No, that just means that you want somebody to conform to what you want to do. Actually, to be truthful, a lot of what goes on and a lot of what happened and the reason people write what they write is this. And if we can squint a little bit, ask yourself this. You hang around $1 million athletes, you hang around people that got money, you hang around people who got the bag, you hang around a lot of people who got bread. They get girls, cars, they're famous. You don't think nobody is slightly, you can't be a little jealous? Can be a little? Why didn't I get that ability? Why didn't I get, I should be able to get that. And the thing about being around athletes in the mix is that if you're around something long enough, you actually start to believe that you are a part of it. A lot of times people be in the game so long that they didn't got a Rolodex of how many people they interviewed and talked to and how many years they've been in the industry, that they actually talk themselves into thinking, you and I, we are the same. You're not. Again, you are a guest. The reason why boys and girls come to the collective, the reason why the Cleveland Browns take L's is because you do what? In unison, worry about the wrong stuff. We now have kicking game woes, backwards hats, Baltimore Ravens, anniversaries, right? Winning and losing doesn't matter. It's just figuring out, hey, I know it's painful in the end. This is what we've become. This is how we kick it. This is what we do. 1,500 people, wherever you at, hit that like button. Wherever you at, hit that like and subscribe. We get into it. Hatgate. If he ain't no good, you don't got to talk about it then, right? You don't. The emphasis should be on the kicker missing the field goal. But you keep talking as if this man is playing. He's not playing. And he's not playing because you don't want to play him. You advocate at every turning point that you don't want to play him. So he's not playing. Don't do the article then. But we can't do it. We got to get to this. This is on UCSS. Yeah. Notice this. The goalpost is moving towards this direction. We've already seen it. We've seen the goalpost move now to a move where it was bide your time. He's going to get an opportunity to play. We'll see the young guys. Who gives you the best chance to win? But as these games start dwindling down, right? Because like I've always predicted and I've always told you, it's easy to say that now because we're invested in the day-to-day operations of the game, right? But at some point in time, there's going to be diminishing returns on it. You're going to say, hey, look, I know we feel like this veteran gives us the best opportunity, but we owe him something. We need to figure this out, and we need to figure out what we're doing right here, right? But there's been a movement, a silent movement, and that movement is to say, nah, we really don't need to see him. Actually, we don't really need to see him, right? We don't need to see him because we don't think that it's necessary or they're good or the evaluation does not matter. And I'm working on to something. I'm working up to something. Hang with me. The evaluation doesn't matter. All that matters is we like the coach in the front office and this is what it is. Watch how all of a sudden now, when Pickett was here, we need to figure out what we got. Now Pickett ain't here no more.
That Mazda is out.
Let's get to it.
I don't know. How long do you think he can hold up at 40 years old?
I mean, I hope the whole season. This all goes back to the whole conversation where I wouldn't have traded Kenny Pickett because I would have felt better with Kenny Pickett as my number 2 than I do Dylan Gabriel, simply on the face of experience, snaps, time on task, and
but you drafted 2 guys and they got to play, don't they?
I mean, do they have to? Patrick Mahomes didn't play until the very end.
Yeah, but that's a different.
Now all of a sudden, they don't got to play at all. All of a sudden, really? Nah. I mean, boy.
Different story. They had committed to Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback of the future. So the Browns might, if they don't play these guys and they end up with the first pick in the draft and there's a better quarterback, these guys will have never gotten an opportunity, and maybe one of them's good.
And fine. Then they go someplace else. Yeah, but
you see, here's the problem. The conversation around, I'm just showing you the receipts, man. The conversation is disingenuous around even seeing these dudes play. It ain't the fact that they can't play, or it ain't the fact that they seen the evidence that they can't do nothing. It's the fact that the marching orders in the conversation is we don't want it. You know why? They don't want them to be the face of their organization. Ask yourself, we've moved it to a point where now it's we don't even need to see him play. But when it comes to Kenny Pickett, we need to see him play. Make it make sense. Like we don't got tape on him. I'm just asking. Somebody tell me somewhere where I'm lying. I'm showing you the track record, right? So now these narratives have nothing to do with what you can do playing on the football field. These are people putting statements out. And I was on the same show when Aditi was there and Bull was going back at forth at it. Don't be mad. I didn't say these things. I didn't force nobody to say nothing. This is their opinion. Sometimes you got to stand on your opinion. And my thing is, what do you mean you don't need to see him play? You drafted him in the 3rd and the 5th round. You moved up to go get him. That means if you don't play and you let them ride off and go to another team as people are projecting or whatever to say, that means you wasted picks. You wasted an opportunity to get people that you need to put on your team to make you better. The Cleveland Browns have they don't have any linemen on contract next year. You could have took an offensive lineman in the 3rd round, right? You need defensive back help. Greg Newsome is a free agent. Martin Emerson was injured this year. You could have went and got a defensive back. You could have developed somebody, but you wasted. How are you going to tell me as a fan, as a general, as a business person, as a team, that you are going to waste draft capital and blow it and light money on fire when you're 3-14? Well, maybe because the last guy told you, hey, if it's 2 wins, the goal isn't winning. The goal is staying in power, hanging around power. Tell me I'm wrong. You're not trying to win. I keep seeing people making excuses for taking L's. I turned the radio on. I'm like, dang, I thought the Cincinnati Bengals was a bad loss. No, it was a good loss. Don't look at the wins and losses. Don't need to do that.
You know what? Here's the fallacy in that, Adam.
Yeah.
If one of them was that lights out good, if one of them was truly the future of the franchise, you'd be seeing them.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and run that back. Remember what we said, right? Remember that quote.
Apps, time on task, and
But you
future
drafted 2 guys that they got to play, don't they?
I mean, do they have to? Patrick Mahomes didn't play until the very end.
Yeah, but that's a different story. They had committed to that. Why is because they have a crappy head coach as part of it. But
remember that quote.
They do this every year, and then every year he plays great. They play great the rest of the season. I don't know what the hell happened. The Browns should have won the game. The Bengals should have their winless streak on opening day continue. The Browns let it get away. Flacco, to me, Aditi, love him. I thought, and I know he played fine, but I actually thought he looked old. He looked really old to me, and I just don't see how he can hold up all that long, especially with some of the defenses you got coming in here or coming to face the Browns, Baltimore and Green Bay. And I don't know. How long do you think he can hold up at 40 years old?
I mean, I hope the whole season. This all goes back to the whole conversation where I wouldn't have traded Kenny Pickett because I would have felt better with Kenny Pickett as my number 2 than I do Dylan Gabriel, simply on the face of experience, snaps, time on task, and
but you drafted 2.
Now, mind you, you just said if they was good, they'd be on the team, right? If they was doing all that, what they need to do, they would be on the team balling, wouldn't they? Right? That's what you said. Well, if Kenny Pickett was good and he was balling, he would be on the team. He didn't. They traded him. Like I told you they were. No, you can't have it both ways. It is what it is. How is it that you want him to be on the squad, but you saying that if them rookies was doing so well, they would be getting reps? This is the thing that we get to when we talk about this stuff, because ask yourself, is it about winning? Is it?
One of them was truly the future of the franchise, you'd be seeing them.
Well,
it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before Jackson Dart is starting in New York. I don't know that any of us are sitting here and saying it's only a matter of time this season before Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders is starting for this team. Neither of them had a camp like Jackson Dart did.
What? Wait, what are you talking about? Jackson Dart wasn't lighting nothing up like that. He actually, his first game wasn't even as better than Shedeur's first game. What are we talking about? I be trying to tell y'all, where did this, I don't know, bro. I'm just confused. Now Jackson Dart is him. See, you be moving these pieces around. Now Jackson Dart is him. But I heard all season that Pickett was him.
I know, but it's also because Jackson Dart was a first-round pick and those guys were not. I would just rather.
Exactly. So then again, why wouldn't you want it? Assuming
the Browns can't win anything.
Of them is the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I mean, like the Browns, they're not going to win anything. Why would you not want to see what these guys got at some point?
How are you saying that week one?
Because I live in reality. You can't win without a quarterback in the NFL.
Adam, give some credit to the Browns defense.
I gave a ton. All I've been doing is giving credit to the Browns defense.
I'm gonna remove this from the. I'm gonna remove this from the. That's Exhibit E. This is the reason why we get laughed at, because other people around the league look at you and be like, what the heck is they doing? What are y'all talking about? What are you guys talking about? What are you guys talking about? And by the way, look, I listen, if we start having a conversation, I'm going to just straight up be like this. Oh, no, I don't agree. I don't agree with any of these statements. I don't agree with none of them. And that's part of what this job entails, is having a strong opinion about something. If you're no, I don't agree with that. And I think that the rationale is kind of backwards. I've been told in clip 1 that we shouldn't judge the Cleveland Browns on wins and losses because they're not very good, but also be encouraged because what? Our quarterback's in 26. In clip number 2, I've been told that, hey, listen, it don't really matter. As long as if they could beat the Ravens and the Steelers once and get 2 wins, then I'll be happy because we could get another quarterback. I've been told in another clip that it wasn't really the kicker's fault. But did you see what Shador was wearing in his backwards hat? His hat was backwards, and he just needs to lock in. That's why he wasn't getting no reps. And I heard in another clip that, I'm not mad about the kicker. I'm not mad about drop footballs. I'm mad at the doggone Baltimore, the Baltimore Ravens. How dare they have an anniversary and bring us in? That's a classless act. I've heard in another clip that, no, we don't even really need to see these rookies. Burn those picks, throw it up in the air, and if you think that we're gonna sit here and celebrate that we got Stefanski and Barry in a new stadium in 29 and all your picks, you are losing your mind. It's not gonna happen at all. I don't know if y'all get together and go drink lemonade, go to or wherever you go, hang out, and y'all get y'all's notes together and be like, yep, this is how we gonna play this one this time. No. I'm not in the system. I'm not plugged in. So I didn't get those marching orders. But this stuff sounds wild. But I'm weaving the narrative. Don't worry about it. We still going. I know this may be too much for some people. It might be a little bit too much. Like I always say, the barbershop is not for everybody. It ain't. Some people get mad. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you. Just tell me why the Browns are going to win this week and sell me a dream on why they're better than the Ravens, and then I'll feel good about them going out and losing on. That's not what I do. I'm sorry. But I will give you my prediction. Get your predictions ready. We'll super chat. Browns, Ravens scores coming up. Right? Let me tell you something. This right here that was sent to me was Tom Brady. And this is an insight into the way that the media rolls, and it shows their hand every single time. It shows their hand. It shows that they lean on fallacies. They lean on hearsay. They lean on anecdotes. They lean on logical, I'm going to use my logic and analytics. And Tom Brady put Colin Cowherd in his place. And he so eloquently pointed out this. When we are talking about quarterbacks, we've made up this whole world where nobody knows what no quarterback do. Yeah, people ain't throwing no footballs. They just watching the game, just like you and me watching the game. In this head canon, this world that they create, where the quarterbacks are so important and they're mythical and they do all this other stuff. And they believe literally that a quarterback comes in on a white steed like King Arthur and pulls the rock, Excalibur out of the rock, and he becomes the king of Cleveland. And he'll make all the pain and tears go away. You always looking for a mythical hero. You're always looking for some shining knight to come save you. But in reality, heroes are not just, they don't just show up and are born. They're created. They're forged through triumph, trials, tribulations. That is how you decide whether you good or you not. And this mythology that somehow, if I don't give you reps, I don't let you play, somehow, some way, what is the angel going to tap you on the shoulder in the middle of the night and come and say, you know what? The chosen one is right under your nose. Put him in the game. How do you develop somebody if he never plays? And how do you win games if you okay with somebody never playing? Here's the point you get at. Losing organizations, always remember this. Go show me a government. Go show me a local municipality that's defunct, that has some level of corruption, that has some level of malaise, lethargic, stuck in their ways, stuck in the past, complacent. And I'll show you people that praise order and hierarchy. When somebody praises their process and hierarchy over results, you know what to look for. They tell you, oh no, listen, this, it ain't about the wins or losses. No. It's about, they selling you this hope, they selling you these fairy tales, they selling you these dreams. Why they sitting back, kicking back, not even worried about the real stuff? If the Cleveland Browns lose, because they don't worry about the right stuff. Tom Brady goes on to point out that when you talking about quarterback play and everybody's talking this mumbo jumbo, the real key is, if you evaluate quarterbacks, where's the evaluation on the people that coach the quarterbacks that's supposed to be doing them and getting them together? This is courtesy of FS1.
Did you work on his throwing?
I always had this theory that quarterbacking should be easier now. You have personal coaching, 7-on-7 camps. Guys like you and Drew Bledsoe and Troy Aikman have told me, I literally had 8 high school games a year. You're like, I had 40 starts, including high school. Well, guys now have 10,000 snaps by the time they're 14 years old. So I've always said, as a sports commentator, I used to give guys 3 years. My argument now is Thanksgiving year 2, the GM, the coach, the coordinator need to go upstairs in a room privately, raise their hands, yes or no. And I don't care where you drafted him. I would give Caleb 11 more weeks, Caleb Williams.
You understand something? This is how it works. This is how it works in the world now. This is the corporate structure. The corporate structure is we stay in power as long as possible. We don't critique where we miss. We don't critique what we do. Revenue, all that good stuff don't matter. We're going to go up in a room and we're going to vote, not taking into account, what do you do? What do you do? Right? How you going? You see the generalization of the way he's talking about the quarterback position in a way where, because you play a lot more, you're supposed to just be good now. So what it does, it gives you the ammunition for people to think that 99% of the time, if a quarterback fails, is because the quarterback was not good enough. not because he didn't have infrastructure, not because the coaching didn't put him in the right position, not because he didn't get first team reps, not because you're worried about his backwards hap, not because you didn't call, you didn't get the plays in on time. You don't got the right offense. You don't know what you're doing at receiver. Your general manager did get in the running game. You did get receivers. All of these things, they're telling you it's on him. They're setting you up to say that a quarterback needs to be a finished product. And if he does not succeed, it is solely upon his shoulders. If he was good, he would be playing by now, wouldn't he? Not really. Tom, talk to him.
Let's go upstairs. Is that fair? I know it sounds kind of harsh, but Thanksgiving, year 2, I believe quarterbacks, if the operations aren't there, he's not the guy. Is that too soon?
This is how they think. It's scary. If it ain't there by Thanksgiving of next year, he's not the guy. This is where that not the guy is the guy crap comes from. Hit the like button. It's all 1,800 in here. It's 18. I know this might not be for some people. I know you might be a little shell-shocked that I'm telling. Listen, this is where that rhetoric comes from. It's not based in knowledge. It's not based in what they're doing. It's not based in the film work. It is based in ideology. The not the guy is the guy. He's the guy. We have our guy. We don't have the guy. Having a guy is just how you feel personally about him. That's it. Ain't nothing to it. Because you can have the numbers and it ain't your guy. You start putting the processing, getting in and out of the huddle, buzzwords like, is he locked in? Does the coaching staff have trust in him? The team feels this way about him. This is buzzword 101. Go sit in a corporate meeting and they give you buzzwords all day, but you ask them with the bottom line. What is the revenue? What is my return on investment? Can you tell me that? Tom delivers him, you know what? Talk to him.
Yeah, but I would argue this. You're assuming that everybody knows how to develop a quarterback. You're assuming that you're going into a program.
That was a nervous laugh. Like, damn, you got me right there. You assume every knucklehead who signs up and gets a hat, a whistle, and a clipboard knows what the hell he's talking about. Talk to him, Tom. Bring it back. I ain't gonna tap dance over it no more. I'm gonna just let it go. I gotta do a little commentary. You know, they be trying to get you with the copy. I mean,
You're assuming that everybody knows how to develop a quarterback. You're assuming that you're going into a program. I mean, I'm telling you, this is not. There's a lot of people who have no idea what they're doing when they're tasked with coaching a quarterback or calling an offense. So are you saying, I mean, just like we'd rank quarterbacks 1 to 32, do you rank offensive coordinators 1 to 32? Do you rank quarterback coaches 1 to 32? Well, what if you had the 32nd ranked coordinator in someone's mind, or the 32nd ranked quarterback coach? How is he getting a level of development that the guy who's first is getting? When I got to the Patriots, I sat behind Drew, who was a franchise quarterback, right? In my second year, it's training camp, and we had a very good quarterback coach named Dick Rabine, and God rest his soul. Unfortunately, he passed away in training camp and of a heart attack. And it was a very difficult loss for our team. And the way that we found a way to continue on that season is Bill Belichick became more of a quarterback coach than we ever imagined him being a quarterback coach. He was obviously a head coach, very involved in defensive game planning, but he decided to come in every week and talk to the quarterbacks about coverage. All right, guys. And he would do these big write-ups, and I still have them all because I kept everything. Tom, this is cover 1. This is how they play it. This is who is responsible for who. Okay, if we line up in a bunch formation, this is how they're going to handle the bunch formation. This is why they do that. This is the weakness of that, why they do that. You shouldn't do this if that's just how they cover this. Okay, this is cover 2. This is how they cover. They play 2 variations of cover 2. When they're in this variation, this is what they're trying to stop. When they're in this variation, this is what they're trying to stop. Okay, this is cover 4. This is how this team uniquely plays cover 4. We shouldn't line up in this formation to try to run this concept. For 1 year, I had, for actually more years beyond that, that's how I developed and learned, oh shit, defense calls a certain play. This is how we can put them in this formation and they can back the coverage off and I'll have a short throw underneath. Oh, great. I love that. Let's do that. Nobody's getting that type of development. So I learned from an offensive standpoint watching Drew and having very good offensive coaches. Then I had a defensive coach, the best one of all time, teach me how to read defenses. Then I would go out and meet with player personnel people, who are very talented. Okay, we'd go through the entire defensive lineup. Okay, these are all the things that this defense does. This is what this player does well. This player does well. This player does well. That's development. You're giving people knowledge and information that you could take to the field so that you could play with confidence and anticipation, and that would free you up to play a very aggressive style.
Notice, he didn't say sitting behind somebody sitting there watching with a clipboard is development. He noticed Tom Brady ain't talking nothing about no backwards hats. Tom Brady ain't saying nothing that. He's letting you know the ins and outs of what it is to be a quarterback and how you have to go about doing it. So when people are telling you, people letting you know, this is if he was good, he would be playing well. If he was good, he would be getting reps. What is your job? What is your role in all of this? And because you bring this up, people will say, oh, you're just trying to run people out of town. You're trying to run people out of town. Another generality. No, I'm just telling you and I'm critiquing you based upon what football is and what football isn't. Football isn't you wake up and you got it and you don't. If you don't, you got it, you don't. That's what happens when you ain't put that work in. When you ain't been out there on them hot, sunny days and have to lift all them weights and have to study them playbooks and have to go out there and play hurt, and you got to get your knee drained. You got to go to the doctor. You still got to go to class. You still got to tackle people. You still got to wake up at 5 a.m. and watch the film. You got to get treatment. That part gives you an understanding and a principled nature of what the game is. I'm not saying you got to be an all-pro to learn the game of football, but way too often we got people speaking in generalities that's confusing people because what you're talking about is not football. It's not it. You talking mumbo-jumbo fantasy football surface-level jargon around the water cooler. You got to show people. So hopefully, if everybody don't understand this, cool. That's great. But if I can get 5 or 6 people to say, dang, I never thought of it like that. All I need is 5 or 6. All I need is 5 or 6. And I never really considered it like that. Like, well, hold on. Yeah, you are right. Like, I'm hearing people say this, but I'm hearing all the other quarterbacks and people say that this different. Colin Cowherd comes on here and tells Tom Brady that because you play more high school games and throw the ball more, that you should be better, and you get a year and a half. Well, what if people come out the great and they just great players to start with? Why do we need a coach? I don't need you for what? If you know everything, why do you need a coach then? I'm just saying. And as we can see, when we go about and we talk about why things happen with the Cleveland Browns, and I say why people around the NFL don't respect you, why people around the NFL don't respect what the Cleveland Browns is putting down, is because they do the exact opposite of everything that people know that you need to do to win. I'll wrap it up by saying this. I think it's fancy that the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills are where they are because they took chances. Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills are where they are today because they took Josh Allen and they took Lamar Jackson. And you could get mad at whatever the case is with the Browns or whatever the case, but Browns could have drafted both of them. They didn't. The people who are the go-getters, the people that want to be that want to live on the edge a little bit, that want to see the vision, that understand I'm gonna embrace some differences, right? Everybody, including Bill Polian, Todd McShay. No, I don't know. I don't know if you could put Lamar Jackson at I don't know. Hold on. Let me show you something. I didn't mean to do this, but you know how I do. Let's look it up. Lamar Jackson stats. Let me just show you. Let me just show you real quick. I just want to look at it because this is what they told us. They told us when Bill Polian said this. Let me see this. I was confused when I seen these. Oh my goodness. No. What is it? 2025? Oh, let me see. We'll do this. I just want to show you. 2024. Bear with me. Oh my, this is wild. Let me see. So this is 2020. Yeah, we'll go to last year. So this is what happens when you are a visionary and you put people in a position. You put people in a position to win, and you can see the future, and you want to push the envelope. These are the individuals. You say what you want. You had a chance. You had the number 1 overall pick. You could have had Lamar Jackson, couldn't you? You could have had Lamar Jackson. You didn't want Lamar Jackson. So don't get mad at the Ravens. Don't get mad at them. You had an opportunity. Let me take this down. Let me put this up. Let me show you something. This is good. So remember what we said about people who confuse what's good and what's not good. Let me take this down. Let me show you about Lamar Jackson. Let's take a look at 2024. Exhibit F. Lamar, mind you, the level of what these people say is good and what other people got is night and day. 2024, Lamar Jackson threw for 4,172 yards, 41 touchdowns, 41, and 4 interceptions. Are you serious? 41 and 4. But we still talk about progress and process. Let's look at what Lamar Jackson did on the ground. Lamar Jackson had more yards than any of our running backs. Jerome Ford, I think Jerome Ford's pretty good. I told people last year Jerome Ford wasn't doing nothing. I think Jerome Ford is pretty solid. He's a regular running. Shut up. I'll tell you who's good. Lamar Jackson, a quarterback, had more yards than anybody you had on your squad. 915 yards and 4 touchdowns. Stop. But you're not mad that they didn't draft Lamar Jackson. You mad they celebrating the 30th anniversary. Let me show you something else. Let me listen. Let me show you something else. This is your problem. And then I say, hey, listen, by the way, can the Baltimore Ravens get beat? Sure they can. Sure they can. But here's my problem that I be having with y'all. It's your standards. Your standards are horrible. We always talking about process and progress. Always talking about it. We got a process in our front office. I'm like, man, listen, y'all praise people that don't play no games as much as I've ever seen in my life. Let's talk about this. Let's get to this. Let me get to this. I just want to see. Yep, we're going to do this. Here's another thing that you mentioned with the Cleveland Browns. You got to mention this a lot too. Hit the like button wherever you at. You got to mention this also. I'm just giving you the facts. Right? Guess who Stats These is? Guess who Stats These is? These is Derrick Henry stats. I remember being on a panel. I was on UCSS. When Derrick Henry became a free agent in 2024, after he was with the Tennessee Titans, they had a question. Should the Cleveland Browns try to get Derrick Henry? You'd be surprised how many people, everybody unanimously said no. Unanimous. Nope, he's washed. Nope, he's washed. Nope, he's terrible. Nope, Derrick Henry in last year, 1,900 yards, 16 touchdowns. 1,900. He's washed. He's done. Go back and listen to go back and watch any, if there was a trade or opportunity to get somebody, more times than not, it will always be a no. That's another a symptom of a bad team or organization or a conservative mindset. Everything is no. Everything, if you're not from here, if we didn't take you, you're not good. It's wild work. It is wild work. Let's get to this. I want to get to some of these comments right now. I will wait till after my predictions, but we're going to get to these some right now. 2,045 people. We appreciate y'all. J614, we appreciate the super chat. The Browns need a new kicker. Do you happen to know her? I mean, do you know someone in mind? Acid Brooks, a seed. Thank you. G, definitely a bear. Why are you scared? Apologize, we win. Hey, you gotta wait to the second part. Here's the thing. I've always been excited about this smoke. Let me show you. Let's see. Let me show you. Let's get to it. I love the smoke. As a matter of fact, I love the smoke so much that let's go ahead and bring up that smoke. Let's go ahead and bring it up, what we talking about. Let's show them. Gotta have the receipts. Brown safety Grant Delpit isn't worried about tackling Derrick Henry. When asked, how hard is it to tackle Derrick Henry, he said, not hard. Pause. But let me tell you this. Guess what? I don't got a problem with that. I like the energy. I love the energy. Now, here's what you got to go back it up. I'm not scared of the football Ravens. I'm trying to actually, in a way, give you a backbone. If the Cleveland Browns go out and become a good football team, get a quarterback, become competent, and go out and try to and have their own identity instead of talking about woe is me, then people will respect you. But as long as you sitting up here talking about, don't hit me, leave me alone, just let us stay over here. We've been through so much as an organization. They took our team 40 years ago. Do something about it. Nobody gonna just stop beating you. I told people it's funny. They gonna have little kids' birthday parties, baby showers. They're gonna have retirement cookouts on you. They're gonna have fish fries. They're gonna have church men's and women breakfast days on you. They gonna do a lot of different things. It's gonna be the men's walk with the kids the first day of school day. They're gonna have the Avon day where you bring your Avon books and you buy perfume off the little catalog lady. They're gonna have barbershop DVD day where everybody in all the barbershops in Baltimore come bring their DVDs. They're gonna have a bake sale for you. They don't care nothing about the Cleveland Browns until you start beating people. And stop having this funny commentary about why you just don't want to be good. Kirk Davis, that's the loser mentality you be talking about, G. Bush. Diabolical. It's smooth diabolical. It's crazy. I had to, when I came back against the Bengals and I watched the game after they just fumbled the bag, I turned around, I said, bro, it was people on the radio telling me that we had a great game. The Bengals was trash, and you should have, what you mean you had a great game? Trez, Aditi has an agenda, and I think we all see it. I'm glad G finally speaking on it because this interview was a wild one. Lots of lies and opinion. Hey, listen, that's our opinion, but it was wild. It was, I'm like, what do you, I said, Jackson Dart is good now? Jackson Dart is the chosen one? What you mean we don't need to see him no more? And I didn't even do the arguing. Bull just argued with me the whole time. Argued with her the whole time. I mean, think about this. We're the only organization that is literally advocating you don't have a quarterback. We know it. Oh, you told us it was a quarterback competition. Now we don't got to play nobody? Come on, man. Come on, dog. Hey, listen, Paul the True Believer, your Browns, you do not make any sense. You have a quarterback with the best completion rating in college football in 2024, and you got him on the bench. He's third on the bench, too. And he has a backwards hat. That's the reason we're not playing him. Triz, honestly, is the 26 class really any good? Triz, see, this is you making too much sense here, Triz. You asking pertinent questions. You notice all of that Arch Manning conversation that calmed all the way down. You notice that, right? All that Cade Klubnik conversation then calmed down. Because it ain't even more about the quarterback class. It is what we said it was. Like, it's almost like one of them things where somebody ain't got no girlfriend, and because you at the age where you starting to like girls and you might not have no girlfriend yet, right? And then you be like, I got a girlfriend too. She just don't go to the school. What? What's her name? Sandra. Yeah, Sandra. Sandra Brown. Yeah, that's her. I don't know whose cousin is she. What's her mom's name? Yeah, listen, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not involved in that information. Our quarterback's in 26. No, that's the marching order. That's what they told. Did they tell you to say that? Is that what the memo said? Any concerns about quarterback we will be forwarding that information to you guys, and the talking point will be our quarterback is in the 26 class. Does everybody have it? All the news outlets got that. Andrew will be disseminating the information, making sure that you guys have the talking points about the quarterback, the rotation after Flacco, and any other conversation that applies to the quarterbacks will be disseminated from the Cleveland Browns media. I'm just joking. Y'all can't take a joke. Stop getting ruffled. I know. It's 2000 right now. Somebody is on a fake account being triggered right now. Don't be mad. It was tongue in cheek. Nothing wouldn't be funny if it wasn't half true though. The quarterback tracker told you who the best quarterback, right? They came from y'all. That came from y'all. That's crazy. If Seattle thought the Browns, about Russell Wilson, wouldn't have a Super Bowl. That's it. And here's what I'm not going to start doing too. And here's the problem that I always push back on. When they say, you know what, G. Bush, it's all about who the Browns like. It's about who the Browns have evaluated. It's about what the Browns feel like. No, they're getting evaluated too. I don't know that your opinion is valid. I don't know any of that. I don't know if you're talking about what we're talking about. I don't know if you know what you're looking at. Diddy was tripping. She thought Pickett was him. yeah, the Kenny experiment gone wrong. But we do that. I mean, we knew there wasn't nothing wrong with Kenny. The whole coaching staff has no integrity because they won't tell the truth. Paul the believer, true believer. They do. I think our coaching staff does a really good job of saying stuff that sound like it's informative, but really not talking about nothing. They'll roundabout. They good at that corporate speak stuff. They ain't really gonna tell you nothing. But here's the thing: wins and losses speak louder than everything. Wins and losses speak louder than everything, and you can keep talking all you want until you get these wins and losses. We'll figure it out. Patrick Williams says, well, I appreciate you right here. To be honest, G. Bush, if it wasn't for you, I would eliminate anything Cleveland Browns from my notification. Cleveland Browns media management or dumpster fires. Well, I appreciate that you didn't throw me in the trash as well. But sometimes, and look, and here's the thing. I had no intentions of popping back out with none of this spiciness. I was going to do exactly as everybody else told me to do. Let's wait it out and see what happens. But y'all coming out with all this other stuff. I say, come on, man. I hope you didn't mean that was going to shut me up and I wasn't going to say nothing. No, this was crazy work. I said, bro, in the week that you lost to the Bengals, we got all of these exhibits. And we talk about backwards hats, and he ain't never. This is crazy to me. Another Skywalker. I appreciate the super chat as always. You're much too gracious. This is why I believe collusion happens. Aditi proves teams want to win if that guy fits the power structure. That's why the NFL is more comfortable with a guy who hit a woman and a media savvy guy who has done nothing wrong, but will talk. You can't control the second guy. Another Skywalker, that's spicy. Let me see if I can drill down on this a little bit. That's spicy. But we talk that talk over here in the barbershop. We talk a lot of things. So we're going to get to it. I'm a firm believer. And I've been talking about, I can't even really call it collusion. I call it the rules of engagement, the terms in which things go. And I've been on this, and you know what? I'm glad that y'all coming around. If y'all haven't watched this, I've been talking this way. I didn't have a YouTube channel for years. Go back and watch some of my old stuff. I was talking about this collusion and spiciness years ago. It got to a point where people was like, dang, bro, you might want to watch yourself. The syndicate is out here, alive and well. Let me tell you about the way the NFL works. The way the NFL works is that quarterback position. Hear me loud and clear. Let me get a sip of coffee real quick. Hear me. That quarterback position is more than a position. That quarterback position is more than a position. When you are a quarterback and you are good, there is nobody in that organization that is higher than you. Nobody, not even the owner. See, that's the thing about playing quarterback. It's such a rarefied position. It takes such a accelerated skill set that I like this. I got to pay some attention to this. I got to get to it. I might even clip this and put this up. We got to get to this. I was watching on a documentary the other night. I was looking up ancient technology that was lost to time. That even with modern technology, computers, microprocessors, that even today, they don't know how they replicated certain things back then. It messes me up every time I hear that, because it shows me that knowledge is not linear. Some things that you have are flashes of brilliance in society. So what happens is you can have technology and knowledge that is lost. So just because you grew up in 2025 with a supercomputer at the touch of your hand right here, I don't respect the people who know how to use a computer really well. You know what I respect? I respect people that came up at the turn of the century that knew how to farm, that knew how to crop, that knew how to sew, that knew how to shoot a rifle, that knew how to hunt, clean an animal, people that knew what medicine was naturally in the ground, knew how to read a compass, understood maps, could build boats, the common knowledge was just, it was higher. So just because you get to hear today don't mean that. And when you talk about the position of quarterback, as you sit down and you talk to some of these people, quarterbacks' minds move at a different. The thing about quarterback is once you take the snap, it's all on you. It's the same reason why there ain't that many people in space no more. People ain't been in outer space since the 70s. If you said, hey, find me a pilot that could go to fly to outer space, they say, we ain't had a generation of astronauts and pilots in years. What are you talking about? So when you talk about that specialized knowledge base, that when you, all the coach can do is call the play. The magic happens after the snap. What did I see? What did I feel? Where did I just want to go with the ball? It's almost being like a freestyler. There's a difference between being a great lyricist and somebody that freestyles. When you listen to Jay-Z rap, everybody talks about how it being the most crazy thing they ever heard in their life, that Jay-Z freestyles whole songs, hooks included. I'm going to freestyle a whole hook. I said, where did that come from? He was like, well, listen, I used to be on the block a long time. I used to be out in the street, and I would be thinking of rhymes. I don't got no pen and paper. So what I had to do is create a way that I can memorize these lines and drop these lines. So I had to memorize one line, go back and give me another one. Memorize one line, give me back another one. So what eventually happens is you eventually have a whole song. And he said, the reason I like doing it like that is because I'm in the moment. It has soul to it. I ain't faking it. I'm just saying what I feel at the time. And when you just say what you feel at the time, it got more emotional and feel to it. You say, G. Bush, you talk about rap, you talk about all these ancient technologies lost. What does it got to do with the Browns? You've been doing too much. Why the quarterback position is so different and why it's so scary and why that position is still guarded to this day is because if you have that gift, if you have the ability to do those things, nothing else matters because you can't take it away. You can't coach it. You can't find this 1 of 32. This is 32 best passers on the planet. And when you are one of those best 32, not even the owner can say nothing. Because guess what? Contracts is already signed, sealed, and delivered. If you one of the best 32 or you in the top 10 of the 32, you're going to get the most money. Hey, so-and-so got 250, you know you getting 252. So-and-so got 270, when my contract up, I'm the next guy, I'm getting 290. And guess what? You're now higher than the general manager. If the coach don't win football games, he's held accountable. Because you know what they're going to say? We got a franchise quarterback and we losing games. Unacceptable. Bye. If the general manager miss on a wide receiver, he's supposed to get you weapons and the wide receiver is a bust. You wasted a first round pick on that guy. He's not good. We got a franchise quarterback and he's garbage, dropping the ball. Bust. You're going to get fired. If the owner. is playing around. And he say, I'm going to be patient with this coach. And that quarterback march himself up to that top office, and he say, yeah, let me tell you something. I don't like that coordinator. I don't like the offensive coordinator. I don't like the play callers. I don't like none of them. Bye. Guess who's getting fired? Look at Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. When Joe Burrow said Trey Hendrickson is getting paid, what happened? Trey Hendrickson got paid. When he said T. Higgins, yeah, we're going to play these charades a little bit longer, but T. Higgins going to get his money on. When he said Jamar Chase is going to be the highest paid, guess what? He was. So what I say to say this is, in the NFL, the saying is, beware who you make your leader. Because whoever you make your leader, you automatically become a follower. And if you're a follower, you don't have no direction into where your career was going to go. You are beholden to the quarterback. But if you got journeymen, veterans that are hanging by a thread, who has the power? The coach and the GM. If you always perpetually trying to find a quarterback and you selling process, who gets to stay in power? GM, coach. If everybody is writing articles saying that this is, it's not the coach's fault and it's a process and it's a 3-year rebuild and this is the best coach guess what happens? Now the masses don't really care about wins and losses because you desensitized them. You told them that it's the process that counts. That is the reason why you don't put certain people at quarterback. Because if you put certain people at quarterback, then you're going to have to be beholden to their personality, their lifestyle, their thoughts, I'm sure there was a lot of people that don't want no parts of LeBron James. And the reason they don't want no parts of LeBron James is because LeBron James put pressure on you. Every year you're supposed to win. Every year you're going to do what I want to do. And that's when they we had owners back in the say, the inmates are running the asylum. You see? That's where that quote comes from. I appreciate the super chat, though. Kirk Davis, Browns make a late comeback, 23-20. Let's get to that, by the way. As we sit here and talk about it, and we're going to get to more of your super chats, give me your thoughts on this game. We're going to get to that. I'm going to throw this up right here. Question is, can the Browns win this weekend? After all that stuff I just said to you, after all the crazy stuff that I seen you, can the Browns win this weekend? Sure, the Browns can win this weekend. Here's the problem. How many plays do you make? Last week, I told people it's about Joe Flacco throwing the football. I told them that the Browns cannot run the football. They won't run the football. And the Cincinnati Bengals just did that. They made sure that the Cleveland Browns could not run the football. Now, Quinshon Judkins, there's been a sighting. He's been at practice. Quinshon Judkins has been at practice. By the way, we'll show you. He was at practice all week. People asked me, do you think he will play? I said, I don't know. But Kevin Stefanski has now come out and said he had a good week of practice and he may play. Now, here's the thing. The reason why Judkins is important is because of this. Dylan Sampson had a really nice game out of the backfield, dinking and dunking and doing some different things. And he had a really, really good week with that. But here's the thing. They need to be able to run through the tackles. They need to be able to get to downhill, and they need to be able to have a running back that is able to sustain that. I want to see more outside zone. I don't know what the Cleveland Browns have been doing. This inside zone stuff is not going to get it done. You take a look at the Pro Football Focus grades with Joe Bitonio. You take a look at the Pro Football grades. They're in the high 70s, which is solid, but DeJuan Jones at 40%. Jack Conklin is questionable with an eye. Ethan Pochich. The Cleveland Browns are not built for 2020. They cannot just run at people. And the thing that you got to realize is a lot of that was Nick Chubb. A lot of what they were able to do in 2020 was Nick Chubb. When you look at a guy like Quinshon Judkins, he's more built in a way that can handle that. So you need to have Quinshon Judkins be able to run the ball. Maybe he give you 10, 12 carries. People talk about, I don't know, is he in shape? Listen, by all accounts, he came back in pretty good shape. But here's the thing with Judkins. You definitely want to figure it out sooner than later, because they need to be able to run the football when you got a 41-year-old quarterback in Joe Flacco. By the way, full disclosure, this is why you got to listen to the hour and some change at the barbershop. I thought Joe Flacco played pretty well. I thought his defense didn't do nothing for him. Not defense, excuse me. The defense did a lot for him, 40 and slip. I thought his receivers didn't help him out. And the reason I was so tough on them receivers was this. I got to keep it a buck. I got to keep it 1,000. When you're talking about Joe Flacco and them receivers, once those rookies get into the game, right? We talk about Joe Flacco. I got to give them the same energy that if Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel was in the game. If Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel was in the game and they threw them footballs to Cedric Tillman and Jerry Jeudy and they dropped them and they turned into interceptions, people would be like, you got to catch the ball. So I'm not going to switch it up and be like, well, it was on Joe. No, it wasn't. I thought Joe played well enough for him to win the football game. The problem is the Cleveland Browns find a way to give games away. And I was very upset that Jerry Jeudy dropped the 4th down right in his hands. I was salty at Cedric Tillman, and I was salty that we tried to amp Cedric Tillman up like he was anything other than a regular guy. No, stop it. That's another thing we be doing way too much. But look, catch the ball, make your kicks. But when you talk about can the Cleveland Browns win, here's the game plan. Here's what you need to see, right? The first thing that really hurts the Browns and not even really hurts them. It's just the first thing that is the obstacle for them is just what the Baltimore Ravens do. The Baltimore Ravens are going to be coming with an offense that is multiple. The Baltimore Ravens are going to run this football. Derrick Henry, 6'4", 250 some odd pounds. He gives you a lot of different looks that the Baltimore Ravens are difficult to stop, because not only are they going to get the ball to Derrick Henry, right? Not only they get a ball to Derrick Henry, now you have to gang tackle him. But now what happens when you got a guy like Lamar Jackson that can use read option, fake to Derrick Henry, up, I'm out the backside. You also have guys like Carson Schlesinger and Mason Graham who are in the middle. And the thing that you got to realize with Carson Schlesinger and Mason Graham is they played better in this. I thought Schlesinger overall played a better game than Graham. Graham played better in the second half. But that first draft against the Cincinnati Bengals, they was running right at him. And the Baltimore Ravens will do that. I expect them to see a heavy dose of the run game to check their temperature. Because if they can't stop the run the first few drives, it's going to be a long day. Second thing they do is they're able to attack you at all different levels. They got Mark Andrews at tight end that can still move down the field and catch you underneath. You got Lamar Jackson, who is a much improved passer, can throw the deep ball. And where he really kills you is if you rush and you don't have lane integrity, you're going to be in trouble. I mean, that means rushing and keeping your gap integrity. Don't overextend yourself. You got to get deep as the deepest, which means if you get to the top shoulder, Myles Garrett, you got to be able to come back and retrace your steps and get back. But don't just run upfield, because Lamar Jackson will pull that ball, run it down. And the thing is, you don't want the methodical 12, 14, 15, 17 play drives where Lamar Jackson is just scrambling on third down. Those are some of the things that really give you headaches when you're the Cleveland Browns defense. If you're the Cleveland Browns defense, no bust. I think Greg Newsome played a really good game. Matter of fact, Greg Newsome, to me, played one of the best football games I've seen from him. Myles Garrett, obviously, is Myles Garrett. There will be no leadership conversations. We're going to continue to get that up out of here. Myles Garrett. And then you take a look at Denzel Ward, was ever do. Carson Schlesinger, I think, had a nice game. I think that the key is making sure that he does not scramble. They're going to have to play some zone because when you're in man-to-man coverage and you cover and your back is towards the quarterback, and so if he pulls the ball down and gets past the linebacker crew, you're in trouble, because now the defensive back's shoulders is turned. They don't even see him coming, and that could be a problem. Offensively, I again say this. Your best opportunity to win this football game is, even if he's 41, Joe Flacco has to hit passes in the 12 to 25 intermediate range. 12 to 25. You got to hit those plays. Cincinnati played a lot of cover 2. They said, nope, we're going to make you dink and dunk down the field. And we believe that you'll have a turnover or two. It'll be a turnover and down. Somebody will drop the ball, but we'll play that and make sure no big plays happen. I think the Cleveland Browns have to do a better job of figuring that out. But to do that, they're going to have to get creative. If you can't run right at them, orbit motion, jet sweep motion, a lot of miscellaneous. I want to see the screen game. Screen game going to be big this week for Kevin Stefanski, right? You're going to have to get multiple. We saw Harold Fanning Jr. at tight end. He got a couple direct snaps from I thought he played a really good game. Shout out to Cam McKinley, Matt Guy. I thought he had a really nice game. Really nice. He had to drop, but he'll tell you he need to catch it later on the game. But I thought he played really well. For me, the Cleveland Browns, if they can play complementary football, in which I mean, I need the offense to have 15, 17 play drives. We need to have those. 15, 17 plays, methodically work the ball down the football field, and at the same time, the defense is keeping Lamar Jackson off the field. The thing that we saw with Joe Burrow, and he didn't get frustrated with, but I think you could get Lamar a little frustrated, is when you have the opportunity, right? When you got the opportunity to make him go 3 and out and he's sitting over there drinking Kool-Aid, he's going to be upset because the offense is not going to be on the field. Make him sit there and watch you for a half hour before he get the ball back. But to do that, you have to convert. You got to convert third downs. You can't have turnovers and drop balls. If you go for it on fourth down, you got to catch the football. And most importantly, kickers. This is the last week we're going to talk about this. Hey, they gave you a mulligan. They gave you a get out of jail free card. You missed some kicks this week, I'll guarantee you we put the deuces up. Bye. You missed kicks this week? I ain't got no time for it. You're going to tune in to UCSS, and I'm going to want all the smoke. Nope. And if you're Kevin Stefanski, frankly, I didn't think Kevin Stefanski's, I thought it was a fine game plan. It wasn't, I thought it was a fine game plan, and I think Joe Flacco executed what they wanted to do. This game, you're gonna have to let it all hang. I think you're gonna have to get creative. And let me tell you this: if it's fourth and anything under 4, this is Madden football on the PS5. We're going for that. I don't care. 4th and 4, go for it. You're taking points off the board. Nah, not where we come from. Not where I'm concerned. Points off the board. No. What we're going to do, we're going for those every single time. So the only time I want to see him, I'm talking 20 to 32 yards. We'll go for it. Other than that, we're going for all of these fourth downs. Them is the keys to the game. We'll talk. What do you got? I'll give you my keys to the game. I gave you mine. What are your keys to the game? And then after we get to all the super chats, I'll go through. Give me your prediction for the game. I'll give you my final score. If you've already seen it on UCSS, you might want to check it out. But I'll tell you guys again. Throw in the comment section. Make sure you tell me what is the final score of this game, Ravens versus Browns. Let's get to the rest of the super chats. All right? Let's cook. Let me see. Got a few more to get through. CB. The Browns know that Shedeur was shying to be plays with the 1s and 2s. They have a script that they have to stick to. Yeah, they do. You know what, though, CB? I've always said this. Things work in mysterious ways. I've always said that I really believe that Shedeur should go last. You know why? I would rather go last because when you go last, as long as he get 4 to 5 games, I would say 5. I would like him to get 6 to 7, but you know how it is. But if he get 5 games, that means they've exhausted all other avenues. That means Flacco's not playing. That means Dylan Gabriel ain't playing. Now he's going to get a shot to see Really. Like, ain't nobody else coming in. And at that point, people going to be screaming from the top of the mountains, don't you put the Bailey Zappi in the game. We know what Bailey Zappi is. But I think going last exhausts a lot of different stuff. So that now, if he was to say, for instance, he was to go first, with these talking points that they got, they have him out of here by week 3. By the way, they will still, and that's why I got to keep the same energy. Because if Shador or Dylan Gabriel threw them balls and it hit him in the chest, you know they wouldn't be talking about it, especially with Shador. You know they wouldn't be saying they got to catch the football. They would be talking about, well, those interceptions are interceptions. They go in the quarterback. So now here's what I'm doing. I am keeping it a buck across the board. If I didn't say them was on Flacco, it is written here on 9/13/25 that I said that's not on him. So if he got some tip passes that guys bounce off their chest in this interception, I'm going to remind you. Remember when I said this? The Ashanti Mom. Cleveland is intentionally wasting Shador's talent by having him stand around at practice and sit on the bench every game. He's not being developed. And you know what? That's why so eloquently, see, I'm not even attacking. See, when you got to argue with people, you got to attack the premise. The premise, the Ashanti Mom, is this. They sold you on that is what development is, sitting and watching. That's not development. No, that's not. That's called being an innocent bystander. I'm attacking the rationale in which they talk about it. And to do it, you know, people will say, well, you just being an apologist, you just being this, you just want to just always stir the pot. No, I'm going to give you examples. And I didn't say it. Tom Brady said, y'all love Tom Brady. He the GOAT. Didn't you say he the GOAT? Are you with Tom on it? Tom said, you don't learn that way. What are you doing? Are you developing? You telling them in the cover twos. What are we doing? To be truthful, what's the name? Sean King said on UCSS, he said, I have him alternating every other week. 1 week could be Dylan, the next week could be Shador, because I really want to see what type of energy they got, how you going to bounce back. You ain't going to learn until you're in that frying pan. Daryl Young, honest question, who's better, Dylan Gabriel or Tua? Because if Tua is better than Dylan and they like Dylan so much, why not just trade for Tua? First and foremost, that's a I like philosophical questions. Go Bobcats. Because first of all, Tua is definitely better than Dylan Gabriel. Tua is a first round draft pick. Tua is thrown. Let me just put this up. This is why here's what I'm gonna do. I like to give people their money's worth. I don't like when people be hurrying with the super chats. I like to give people their money's worth. If you take time to send me a super chat, I like to take time to give you my thoughts and analysis on it. I don't believe in wasting nobody's money. I appreciate everybody. And as always, I say, if you can't super chat, that's okay. You know how you can help me out? All you got to do is interact with the show. Like, comment, subscribe. That's all I need. Hey, if you disagree with me, that's great. Go ahead, put it in the comment section. Put it in the chat. We have a conversation about it. That's what you could do to help. So let me give you this. This is let me go give you Tua's stats. Let me give you Tua's stats real quick. And this is why you got to prove to some people. You have to show them, because when you talk about the stats, they matter because it gives you an opportunity to say, okay, that's kind of wild. So look at this. So In 2024, Tua was hurt for the majority of the season, right? He played 11 games. The problem with Tua is, and the problem that you have with Dylan Gabriel is the same thing. Tua is slight of frame. They have Tua listed at 6'1", 225. Now, Dylan Gabriel, now think about it. Now, he's done 6'1", 225. That's Tua. How much does Gabriel weigh? How much does he weigh? Height and weight, let me see. Okay, this is per ESPN. Let me tell you, they got him listed at 5'11". He ain't 5'11". He about 5'9", 5'10". 5'11", 205. To put in perspective, 5'11", 205 is small, man. He probably like 5'10". So the problem with Tua is he don't play a lot because he is always hurt in concussions. 10 games he played. So that means he missed 6-7 games in 2020. He missed another, 4 games in 2021, 4 games in 2022. The year he played a full season, he had really good numbers. In 2023, 4,600 yards, 29 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, right? Still sacked a lot. But so if you say, is he better than Tua? No. Because if Dylan Gabriel played 17 games, do you think he would throw for 4,600 yards? Do you think he would have 29 touchdowns? No. And the question is, why don't the Browns trade for Tua? Because you would need to not only pay Tua a boatload of money, because his contract, what is his contract? To put it in perspective, Tua contract. Just to look it up. Tua signed a 4-year, $212 million contract extension the summer 2024. He's earning about $25 million in base salary for 2025. So put it in perspective. The difference between playing Tua and paying how much does Dylan Gabriel make? Contract. Dylan Gabriel, how much does he make? And so right now, Dylan Gabriel is 25 years old. That's another thing. Dylan Gabriel's 25, and I think he might actually even be almost, how old is Tua? So Tua is 27 years old. He's been in the league 6 years. Dylan Gabriel is 25 and is a rookie. That's another reason you won't do it. Like, Dylan Gabriel is older, he's smaller, he doesn't have a stronger arm, and Tua makes a bunch of more money. So Tua's contract, so Gabriel base salary is $840,000, and his signing bonus is $292,000. So he makes about $1.1 million this year. Shador's is even lower. Which brings me to my other point. So Shador Sanders is even lower than that. So Shador Sanders' contract, how much is he making? Shador Sanders, a 4-year, $4.6 million contract with the Browns, including $443,000 signing bonus and $447,000 guaranteed, an average salary of $1.1 million. So why the Cleveland Browns won't trade for him is because of this. If Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders turn out to be just as good as Tua. Tua makes $212 million a year, $25 million a year. They would then have that amount of money tied up in Tua. But you can get the same production, the same type player for $1.1 million. That means you got $24 million to do something else with. So that's why they won't just go out and trade for Tua. If that makes any sense. All right. Yoshi Doshi, Adidas is full of it this time. Never neglect talent you have for unknowns. History says Palmer, Mahomes, Breeze, love Adidas. If you have future stars on your roster, don't replace them with unknowns. That is a tough thing to deal with when you're talking about. Remember your mom used to always tell you this: a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Right? A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Do you want your money now, or do you want your money in 12 years? Now I want my money now. I win the lottery, take the half. I want my lump sum payment, because in business, you can take your money, invest it, and earn the interest rate, right? It's the time value of money, right? My money today is always more valuable than it is given to me down the line. If I got somebody today that I could develop, you get the financial boost, which is I can now offset some different things because I'm working on a lower wage with a rookie scale. I also have the fact that now I can take that money and build the team around me better and get better athletes, better linemen, better receivers, better running backs. And on top of that, I've solidified my future in a window of opportunity to compete. But when you're playing with older players and it's Flacco, your window is week to week. If Joe Flacco plays great this year, he's still not going to be on the team next year at all. So that's just the philosophy. Sapper Daddy says, I swear and believe that there's collusion in Cleveland and NFL. They keep them terrible because statistically, the rate of losing that has happened here is an anomaly. How can they get nothing right? That's a very good question, Sapper Daddy, because here's the thing. I always say that the NFL is a monopoly, and the reason that they are a monopoly and the reason those things get done is because of this. The monopoly is it's not a real economy. It's not a real system. It's not a real industry because the NFL prints money. They build it up in a way where football is almost like a religion. You don't see people wake up and lose their religion. They just pray harder, right? They understand you go through some things. But when you talk about football, the people that's going to go to that muni lot and got Brown season tickets that's passed down from people to people, they're never, why would you do that? You're not, like, you roll with the punches. Heck, I'm as down on the Browns as a lot of people. Guess what? I'm still going to watch on Sunday. So what are the real consequences of losing? Are there really any consequences? I mean, from year to year, they might get rid of a coach or player here or two, but what are the consequences of it? There aren't consequences. The only thing that drives people are the maniacal people that happen to come together that have a collective mindset. Like if you get a quarterback who's just maniacal and is like, yo, I'm going to bend the will of everybody, we will win. When Michael Jordan came to Chicago, we will win. He linked up with Phil Jackson. Those two changed the organization. And even when the greatest, think about this. Think about this, Sapper Daddy. Even with the greatest organization, and everybody praises the Chicago Bulls, everybody jumps up and down, say 6 for 6, 6 rings, 6 championships, right? You had one of the greatest coaches of all time. You had Phil Jackson, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, Dennis Rodman, all the Horace Grant. You multiple stints, back-to-back three-peats. Who messed it up? Who messed it up? Suits. Pencil pushers, analytics guys, front office. We want to rebuild. we're not bringing Phil back. How you win 6 championships and you so eager for a rebuild? That's because it wasn't about the championships. It's about whether proving I can do it on my own, proving something to myself, your insecurities. Front office people have always been in the way. Front office people have always conflated that they are important too, right? You got Michael Jordan. You said you want to have a rebuild. How do you leave on a good note? What are you like? It's wild to me. Like, nobody talks about it, but that's what happens a lot in front offices. You got these guys who over-evaluate their value. They start to be like, oh, I'm just supporting this Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Phil Jackson. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's wild to me. Those guys all sat year one. Aditi is wrong. That is correct. By the way, I think it's a different comparison, the apples and oranges. Like, they drafted those people in the first round. Alex Smith was an number 1 overall pick. Competent quarterback. He went 41. Like, it's kind of crazy. Oh no, see. Even Frederick Prussia had to wait his turn. You're going to drop that. I ain't seen her pressure in a long time. You going to drop that on us? This Yoshi Doshi guy. You're a piece of work. I like that. If you know, go look it up. Go look that up. Saturday, I can hop on Madden and make the Browns a winning team. Granted, it's Madden, but how can you fumble a draft after draft, free agent after free agent? How? Easy. When you are looking at a spreadsheet, the Cleveland Browns look at people and human beings as numbers on a ledger. Those numbers on a ledger give you a statistical output of numbers and data that you can use to figure. They think that the name don't matter. It's just the analytics behind them. And when you look at that, you don't take into consideration human beings. Is somebody a gamer, or is somebody better in the game environment than practice? They also are very rigid in the way they think about who their guy is. They look at all the wrong things. Do you care about the backwards hat, or do you care about can you throw the football? Do you care about that they listen to rap music and put up their arm like that when they celebrate? I remember Aaron Rodgers doing a discount double check with the belt. I mean, Brett Favre was one of the most, he played with so much energy and zeal, and people loved it. But that's the thing. When you start worried about stuff that don't matter, you always going to be put in a position that you deal with people not drafting the right guy, right? Because you got to be a people person. Being an evaluator is all about understanding whether or not people get it. Can I win with you? Can I identify with you? Can I dream with you? And it's always better that somebody believe in you. I want somebody that believe in what I do and what I say. Because when you believe in what I do and what I say, they're going to put you in the best position to succeed. They're going to be going home every night. Let me get my boy together. Dude, man, I was dreaming up this play on the sideline, man. I know he about to drop this dime. You be mad, my boy. Look, you know what we about to do? You know what we about to do? Sunday, we cooking up. You telling me, you calling, you texting me. Hey, bro, what you think about this play real quick? Hey, big bro, what do you think about this play? X-Jet, 32 wham, slip, reverse, right here. It ain't gonna be nothing. Yeah. I'm gonna talk to you about it tomorrow, though. I'm gonna talk to you about it tomorrow. Like, you be excited about it. Not, well, we're gonna run my playbook. What does that even mean? What does that mean? Harold, I'm 8 a.m. out here in Scottsdale, and you cracking me the F up. I appreciate you, man. Matter of fact, I appreciate all 2,157 of y'all wherever y'all at. I appreciate the heck out of y'all because y'all be pulling up on me. I've been going the last 2 weekends. They said, G. Bush, where the barbershop at? We need that. We need that work. I said, I got you. Don't worry about it. They always give me the ammunition. You are old stuff. You have you had more hair, no Rogaine. Hey man, you check my old my old stuff, man. Go check it out, man. We getting a little older, man. Sue Zaire. I love the picture, by the way. All gold, everything. We could be talking about sending the Ravens to 0-2. Hey, we could. It's possible. It's possible. They just can't have the Browns being the Brown stuff. Neil Gray, winning the Super Bowl and division title should be the only focus, yet we are worried about 3 regular season games. What about the other 14? Winning culture is not been nurtured and taught by coach, general manager, and owner. Thank you, Neil. We don't care. Why are we caring about the rest of this nonsense? What are we doing? What are we doing? 3 games, 2 games, as long as we can beat this. Man, come on, bro. I don't want none of y'all coaching my kids. I need you to be telling my kids, nah, he dropped the football, coach. Hey, tell your dad when you get home, hey, listen, coach said you've been dropping the rock, bro. What you doing? I'll get it next time, Dad. No, you won't. You might not got an opportunity. See, I'll be having conversations, real 6-year-old, 7-year-old, having real conversation. Sometimes you don't get an opportunity. In life, you can make one mistake and it can change the complexion of what your life is, right? They're like, dang, you can't tell a 7-year-old that. Yeah, I can. I'm just giving you that real work. Miss Bell, kicker's name isn't Shador, so he'll miss and play. I do find it funny. I do find it really funny, Miss Bell, that they had that same energy. All that, he was taking sacks. He took sacks in a preseason game. Remember they was going crazy? Remember they lost their whole soul? My gosh. Oh, Shador's running backwards. You got whole kickers missing. You got a whole kicker costing you a whole regular game. Not the preseason, not the fake season. We can't give him any reps. He hasn't earned them. But you brought a kicker off the street, didn't earn nothing. He costing you football games, but he's still going to play. Oh, give him a chance. Give him a try. He's just a rookie. Miss Bell be sharp. She be hitting them. She be hitting y'all with them zingers. You right. They seem to have a nice little. They always seem to have a heart for other people messing up. Kurt G. Bush, just want you to know, they say our quarterback is in 2026, but we've been looking for quarterbacks longer than I've been alive, and they can't develop one. How do you know? And how do we know our quarterback is in next year's draft? They don't. That's basically Kirk. They call it you stupid. Oh, Kirk don't understand it. All Kirk understands is the rhetoric. And if he do understand it, don't matter. We got the dome and we done already got the word out for everybody. The word has been out for everybody. This year ain't the year. That's why they be putting them memos out, bro. Browns be putting these memos out. People be buying that stuff. All the outlets run with it. The memo is, man, I'm not going to, listen, it's almost worse than the Wizard of Oz now. I'm not pulling up on the ivory tower. I don't like going to the ivory tower. They want you to come to the ivory tower and get that note, get that disseminated propaganda, and they give it to you, and you get your memo. Yeah, you're going to sit right over here. There's your calling information. Mr. Bush, seems that I saw you in the barbershop and you were talking quarterbacks. We had to have a meeting about if you're a media member, we don't talk quarterbacks in the open. Could somebody forward him the email on what we say when we talk about young quarterbacks? Thank you. No, you can't answer. No questions. We don't. Somebody tell him we don't answer questions either. It's the talking point. Yeah, so he must be thinking this is real. Like, we don't really interact with you guys. We just kind of like, you get the memo in the email and you read off that. That's what. I'm just playing. Don't get mad. Don't be upset, bro. Don't be mad. Don't call me. Do not text me. Oh my God, I can't believe. No, I didn't say nothing. If it wasn't half true. Angel, tell us, keep up the hard work, man. I'll try. We'll try. I had 12 concussions. I'm a published author. 2 is a concussion away from a cautionary tale. Concussions are no joke. Do not risk a young man's life. I told him, hey, take that 212 and keep it pushing. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. If they ever gave me 212, it's gonna be like whatever happened to that boy. It's gonna be Birdman featuring the Clips. Whatever happened to G. Bush? I heard they gave him that 212 or something, bro. 212, he moved off the grid too. Nope, it's too crazy now. I'm off the grid. Listen, I'm all the way off. I'm gonna need a compass where I'm at. Like, I don't want no problem with y'all. It's crazy out here nowadays. I don't want. Be like, man, G. Bush be wearing sombreros now. Y'all in the yard somewhere, boy. Just showing up to support my G, man. Clindo 1, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. Yoshi Doshi, you are the coolest mofo I know. You know. See? That's what we try to do around here. We try to let's get to these. Hey, can I get the win-losses real quick? Let me throw these up before we get up. Win-loss. Win-loss record. Not win-loss record. Let's get final score. We're gonna rapid fire them. Final score, put it in here before we get up out here. Final score. Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens. I want to see if the consensus is the Cleveland Browns can get a win. And then I'll give you my score and we'll get up out of here. Let's go. Hey, Miss Robinson. Why you be having you one of the managers and then be like, let me come to the office. Come to the office and let me talk to you real quick. Let's get to the office. 24-21 Browns. Okay. 2017 Browns. Hey, listen, this is why we drink the Kool-Aid around here. I said all I said, and it still don't matter. 7-32. What? 17-13. L. 45-3. L. Let's see. 30-35. Let's see. 42-10. Yeah, wow. 24-21 Dogs. Let's go. There we go. G, how old is you? I'm 43. 43 years old, man. Let's see. Ravens 35. Browns 14. That's a nice fish you caught right there, my guy. 35-14. All right. 23-14 Browns. We can sit up here and talk. We can sit up here and talk about the Browns, how bad it is all day. We'd still be picking them to win. Deep in my heart, I talked about the Browns for 2 hours. In my heart of hearts, I'm going to bed praying for the Cleveland Browns. Lord, please help Joe Flacco be able to get out of bed. Lord, can you tell Kevin Stefanski not to be doing nothing crazy? Lord, also, please protect Jerry Judy's. Jerry Judy's hands need to be prayed over. Cedric Tillman's hands need to be prayed over. Can you please pray on those hands? By the way, Myles Garrett, please hope that he gets 17. But God be sitting there telling you, listen, son, you know you shouldn't pray about sports games. I know. And you've been praying about these folks for about 30 years, and that should tell you something. Faith without works is dead. But listen, you said prayer changes things, though. You did. Let's keep it going. 35-21. SKE Sports Talk. Miss Bell, 21-0 to 21. 35-14 Ravens. 32-7 Ravens. 22-21 who? Okay, the Dogs get that dub. Okay. 30-17 Ravens. 26-21 Browns. James, you dirty. You dirty, James. You dirty. 55-0. 55. Yoshi Doji. 28-27. Isaiah Bond with a touchdown late. I like it. Let's go. B. Will. Baltimore 35-18. 27-7. Browns lose. Browns 17-10. I like that. Dorsey. G. Bush 17. Quincy Carrier 7. Is that our Madden score? Yeah, Quincy can't beat me in Madden. You tell him if he wants the smoke, he comes over. He can pick his team. PS5, G. Bush 91. He don't want no smoke. Stanley Smith. Dang. 35-6 Ravens. Dang. Ravens 24, Browns 13. Robert, you dirty. You dirty, bro. 77-7. This is why we can't. We can't. Rochelle Rucker. She gonna put the. Is that our win-loss record for the year? The first games before Shador play, or this is just totally like you got it a 12-3 game? We'll see. 28-20 Browns. 49ers need 12. Stop, Edwin. That's a very strong picture you got up there, but stop trying to trade 12. I told you I'm his unofficial agent in the media. We are not taking trade requests at this time. A.G. Bush, you look like you 30. That's that skincare routine. I told Jason, I said, I did my cleanse the other day. Ravens, you know what, Noel? You know what? You know what? You didn't even put the S on the end of it. You dirty. 24-21. Yeah, this is why y'all diabolical. This is why I don't be opening it up like this. I'm opening up the chat for y'all. Y'all just come in here just 20-17. Oh, here we go, Tommy. Here we go. Hold on. Where's your do you got one? I'm looking for it. Where is it at? I can't see it. Let me see. They say my moderator is in the what's the name in the chat. I can't see it. I'm looking for it. Let me see. I'm looking for it. I don't see it. Put it in there again. Let's see. Why she put that in there? Neil Gray. Stefanski is the common denominator. 3-14, 40-45 record in 6 years. Ravens 34. Browns 13. Joe 3 interceptions. 2. Dang, Neil. 3 and 2. Good gracious. Let me see let's get to the bottom. Rosie up top. There you go. What's your score? 24-7. Rosie B has 24-17. Well, I'm not going to tell whom your favorite player is. She has 2 favorite players. Her favorite player is Lamar Jackson. Her second favorite player is Shador Sanders. She says since Shador is not playing, 24-17 Ravens. Let's go with G. Bush. Let's get to mine. Hold on. Here we go. Curtis. 34-10. 34-10 Ratbirds. I'm gonna go. I think I had 31-13 Ravens. I'm always holding out for hope. Always holding out that the Browns will show me something, but not holding my breath on it. But whether we win, lose, or draw, you can catch me right here, breaking it all down right here in the barbershop and UCSS. Shout out to all the people around. We can watch me with UCSS post-game show ready to go. Remind you, UCSS post-game 2-minute warning. Right after that, we got the barbershop, so the post-game. So be ready to go. We get it done. As for me, I'm going to try to get a little nap in. My niece is coming. We have a date today. Zara, she's coming. We have a date. How old is she? 4? Zara's 4. She's just started school. And she said, Uncle Garrett, I'm upset you didn't take me to Chicago. You owe me a date. I said, date? I don't be dating your aunt like that. She was like, that's a lie. I said, why you say that? Because she went to Chicago with you. All right. She was like, so you tell me, I see you emailed my dad. I said, email? What she know about an email? I see you email my dad. So what we going to do? I said, man, we go somewhere. All right. You figure it out. I got swimming lessons and then I'll be at your house. So I got to go. I got a date with my niece. So, my wife might put some highlights of it up. You can check it out on her blog. But other than that, I'm going to enjoy my Saturday. You enjoy your Saturday. And you never know when G-Bush might show up. Radio, rain, sleet, snow, hail. I might be everywhere. Check me out on the internet, wherever I'm at. But if you want the fresh take, the fresh cut on sports, then you know where you got to come to get the Clippers. Have a great rest of your evening, weekend. Go Bobcats, 7 p.m. tonight against the Buckeyes. Tyvis, Dustin, let's go. Oh, you Bobcats, let's go, baby. As always, go Brown.
Quality, service, atmosphere. You're next in the chair. Feel at home in the barbershop. G. Bush offers a fresh cut on sports. The barbershop isn't just grooming for guys. It's culture. It's lifestyle. It's sports. And it's now the barbershop is giving the sports scene a sheer shave and shine. Join the makeover now. Follow Garrett Bush at GBush91 on Twitter.